So 4 to 5 days ago, I did a video on how I fell off the raw vegan wagon after 28 days of 100% and ate some cooked food, rice and potatoes. I just kind of wanted to give a follow-up on that video. First, I want to address a couple comments, and one of a lot of people seem to feel that I was reaching out for people to hold my hand and say it's okay to eat cooked food. Wasn't really the case. So there's this kind of difference between. So my goal is to be raw vegan, 100%, high carb raw, and if I fail a day in that goal, I don't think that makes me a failure. It just means that I didn't make my goal. So what happened after that cooked food meal? Well, I went up to near Portland with a friend, and we drove by an Asian market, picked up a couple durian, and some other stuff. Not much, because there's not much high-calorie fruit right now. But those durian really helped me stay raw for a couple days. So I was 3 days raw after that entirely. And then I decided I was going to experiment with sweet potatoes, and I did that last night. And definitely not as bad as the grains. Oh, that's another thing I want to add. So the day after the grains, I felt hungover, and then the second day after the grains, I felt hungover too, like distinctively like hungover, like I had just taken alcohol the night before. So that was a really bad experience. Definitely, if I'm ever gonna eat cooked food again, I'll definitely go to the sweet potato. But today, I had the sweet potato last night, and I'm just slowed down. I also had this kind of weird experience where, so I went back to the bananas the next day, which I was having a hard time with. And they were actually surprisingly satisfying. I think what might have happened that kind of had me flipping out a little bit is that I got 2 boxes of organic bananas from Safeway, which is where I usually get them, and they're usually very good. And these are just horrible. Like, they're so disgusting they make me want to throw up. And I'm wondering if I was expecting a good banana, and then they were terrible, and then I got really scared of bananas, or I'm not really sure what happened there. Something was amiss, and then I just maybe got really scared and ended up going back to some cooked food. But I'm talking to a lot of people right now, about this. How are they staying raw? And it seems that most of them are either doing Banana Island, so they're basically eating bananas and then frozen berries and other flavorings and stuff like that, some citrus, and then, or they're eating durian and jackfruits, which I wish I had access to. If I could buy 3 cases of durian, like a durian for $10, I'd eat one of those a day, no problem, and that would keep me raw really easily. But so anyway, I had sweet potatoes last night, and I'm finding that I really wish that I had a banana smoothie instead. Sweet potatoes just slow you down, like just complex carbs. I find them better than anything else in the cooked food world, other than steamed vegetables. They're sweet. Like, I remember one time I tried to do white potatoes just as an experiment, not because I needed to, and they're terrible. Like, as soon as I had the white potato, I wanted a banana smoothie, but you can't drink a banana smoothie after you have the white potato, so you're kind of screwed eating more and more starch at that point. And that's a really bad place to be, especially right before bed. I also kind of wanted to talk about my general thoughts about how difficult it is to be a high carb raw vegan, because people talk about the price a lot. They're concerned that it costs a lot. I don't think those things are necessarily true. I think okay, you can eat a little cheaper on starch. You can eat a ton of white rice, and potatoes aren't cheaper than bananas. Like, you do a amount of calories per dollar analysis, and you get 315 calories per dollar for organic bananas, and and that's if you buy them straight out of Safeway for 75 cents a pound. Non-organic bananas, you get 500 calories to the dollar, and you can't really do cheaper than that. Especially when you start buying things like potatoes. I know some people eat them plain, but a lot of people are going to buy other flavorings. So the amount of calories you get per dollar really started this lifestyle at a really convenient time because it was just the end of summer and there's a lot of really good fruit in that period, and then the dates come in. And when it was just dates and bananas, it was so easy to do this lifestyle, and it's not expensive. You know, like you can eat 3,000 calories for $10 a day. That's $70 a week. It's not so much a price issue. Like, you know, if you start to think that you should have access to everything in the store on this diet and as much as you want, then it's going to be past your budget. You know, I've seen like Plant-Based Athlete did a video where he went to a farmer's market in Hawaii and spent like $80 on just a couple of mangosteen and some mamey. I'm not saying he shouldn't do that, but you know, he could buy, for example, a lot more bananas for $80, and then he could stay 100% raw. You know, if he doesn't want to do that, that's fine. I'm not saying he should do that or he should change his diet, but that's just kind of an example of, you know, you can stay raw. You really can. I think this is January and February are probably the hardest months, especially because citrus isn't good this year. It's not sweet. It didn't develop the right sugar in California. But you know, like as soon as the mangoes come in, I'm just going to be hitting the mangoes and the bananas. And you know, I'm going to be right back to 100%. And even now I'm finding like, you know, you can do white potatoes, but like, you know, I think you're probably better off with the banana smoothie and some more greens, some more avocados and some raisins and some dried figs. Is it a, you know, great satisfying diet? Not so much. But it's just tough this time of year. Like, you know, I tried the sweet potato. I thought that was going to be really satisfying, and it wasn't. And that's another thing I want to talk about. Experimenting is a good thing. Before I went vegan, I experimented. I failed a couple times at going vegan before I, you know, figured it out. Because our culture, you know, is so anti-vegan. Because I was eating animal products at every meal. But you know, I kept on trying, experimenting. I thought maybe it was the lack of animal protein that was making me feel bad or whatever. At one point I really thought that, so I reintroduced eggs into my diet. And in fact, the last non-vegan meal I had was a 6-egg omelet. And I started eating it, and it was completely unsatisfying, and it wasn't tasty, and I said, okay, I'm done. And I haven't touched animal products since then. And I figured it out, but it took some work. You know, like, I think I just kind of needed to give myself the room to go back to the cooked food and to kind of see what would happen. And I kind of had an idea of what would happen. But, you know, sometimes you really have to experience it for, you know, it to really register in your head. And I don't want any more sweet potato. I you know, had some extra, cooked up some Japanese sweet potatoes, mashed them up and put some hemp milk and green onion, and I'm going to bring that to a vegan potluck tonight. I'm sure they'll love it. But yeah, I prefer the banana smoothie. I would mono bananas. I'd rather mono bananas than eat a cooked meal. Because the cooked meal just slows me down. So those are kind of my thoughts on it. Stay away from the grain. Grains are bad. You know, it's kind of weird, like, we bash the paleo crowd, but, you know, when they say grains aren't where it's at, they're not entirely wrong about that either. They seem wrong about a lot of other things, but I think they have something to say about the grains. Alright, well, hopefully this video is interesting. Thank you guys for all your support and all your suggestions. They really helped. I don't want to go back to cooked food. I don't think I need to. I think I can find a better banana. And I think we can all do a lot more to learn how to stay raw. And stay satisfied raw, because any kind of cooked food is not going to be better. Alright, thanks.